Joining us on the Newsline, Senator from the state of Virginia, Tim Kaine, the Democrat. Senator, thank you so much.
Glad to be with you, Dick. Thanks.
Let's talk a little bit about what's going on right now. It's basically business as usual for the Senate day today. But for the 21 hours previous to that, it wasn't. What's the net effect of this in your view?
My sense of it, the purpose was probably an effort by the senator from Texas to try to convince more of his colleagues on the Republican side to support him in an effort to make the defunding of Obamacare a leverage point, even to including shutting down the government. I don't think that's going to succeed.
And again, the net result is that it's business as usual today. One of the things that the Majority Leader, Harry Reid, asked of Ted Cruz was if he would yield for about 15 minutes to hear from John McCain, senior senator from Arizona, also a Republican, and quite frankly not the political best friend of Ted Cruz. Mm-hmm. In your view, do you think that maybe those members of the Republican caucus who don't find themselves aligned with Ted Cruz are liable to sort of strike back, if you will?
Well, I think they will. I think they will in this way, not in a personal way. Mm-hmm. There are many in the Republican caucus who share Senator Cruz's views about we need to reform or even repeal the Affordable Care Act. They just believe there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it. The right way to do it would be to introduce a bill. Here's my reform bill, or here's my proposal to defund, but not tie it up to the existential question of whether the government of the United States operates or shuts down. It's the linking of the question to a shutdown of government or the linking of a question to a default on America's debt that has made so many of his Republican colleagues say, you're on your own on this one. Because
Senator,
they believe so strongly. This is a government by, of, and for the people. We're about to commemorate the 150th anniversary of the Gettysburg Address in a month. Mm-hmm. President Lincoln finished it and said, we all have to resolve that government by, of, and for the people shall not perish from the earth. And that means not for a day, not for a week, not for a minute, not for a second. And the reason that Senator Cruz has a hard time getting Republicans on board is using the threat of a shutdown or the threat of a default on our obligations as a leverage tool. People just don't believe that's the right way to go.
Senator, let me ask you, what's your feeling on the length of this continuing resolution? There was some talk yesterday that perhaps rather than extend the CR through December, that maybe you shorten the throw of it a little bit so that there can be a little more time to negotiate, if you will, between not just both sides in the Senate, but the Senate and the House on things like sequestration cuts and that sort of thing. What do you think about that?
I think it's important. I think the Senate is likely now to take it up and change. There will be. We will accept, I believe, in the amendment that we do, that the House's budget number for the CR. Mm-hmm. But we will shorten the time period to November the 15th to show that we really want to sit down and negotiate. The Senate passed a budget 6 months ago Monday, March 23rd, and we have been trying to get the House to sit down with us at a conference table every day for the last 6 months, and they won't do it. That's the only real outcome to this, and that's the right outcome. It's House and Senate budget conferees having a negotiation and reaching a deal via compromise. And I think we've decided that if we make it November 15th, that shows, again, we're serious. We want to sit down and talk. We recognize there will be compromise, but let's do that for the good of the American economy.
Senator Tim Kaine, good enough to join us live on the Newsline this afternoon. Senator, we appreciate it. We'll be watching.